Welcome to round 6 of the Thundersport GB Championships. We're here at Rockingham in Northamptonshire, where the weather's not looking too great at the moment. A few spots of rain. We're expecting a big dump over this afternoon. So anything can happen in the GP1 races, the Sportsman Elite 600s, and also the Pre-National 600s. Welcome to Thundersport Elite. So welcome to the start of Thundersport Elite then. Here we are at Rockingham. The weather's a bit dodgy at the moment. This has been declared a wet race, so riders have had a chance to change. Now you can see on the front here, James Folkard, by the way, on a BMW. Look at Curtis Wright, gone for a wet front and a dry rear. Michael Neves is on pole position, number 33. He's gone for full wet. Also send our very best wishes to Adam Shelton, who had a really nasty accident here yesterday. All the best, Adam. So what about it then? A number of riders going for wet tyres. There's a few midfield that have gone for full wets as well. At the moment, it's really, well, it's a dry circuit. You'd go for dries at this moment in time, but I can tell you that the feeling in the air, anything could happen. Here we go then, and away from the line we go. It is 74 Curtis Wright that looks like he has the advantage as we exit turn 1. Curtis Wright, the championship leader overall. Well, of course, as I just mentioned, with Adam Shelton out, that really does give Curtis an excellent opportunity to extend his championship lead, because Phil Crow isn't here and Billy Miller not here either. Now they're the riders in 2nd, 3rd and 4th overall in the GP1 Championship, so 74 the rider that leads, big chance for him. In 2nd place, James Folkard. We're on board here with David Brook, number 73, who goes up the inside of Matt Truelove. Matt is out there on the 600, and in the background there someone has gone down already. That is a rider down and out, and that is Curtis Rothwell, number 5. Who's gone out of the race, and so maybe there are a few slippery parts on this circuit already. That was over at Yentwood, that crash, but it's James Folkard, the rider, that's making progress in 2nd place on that white BMW, number 77, and he goes into the lead. James Folkard, you may well be used to seeing in the Super Twins races, of course, on an Aprilia 550. Well, he's been lent a bike just by somebody that he met, a guy called Deck, who said, yeah, I want to see my BMW going around a circuit fast. And so James Folkard is out there on one, but James is on full slicks at the moment. That's the right call. In 3rd place, number 35, we just saw Shane Pearson. There's Michael Neves, 33, full wets on for him, and at the moment not a good choice because it's really, really dry. There are a few spits here and there, but in a few laps time those wets could be chewed to pieces. And the problem is with that is then it gets to a point where if it does rain, the wets are pretty much surplus anyway, because there's no grip anymore left on the tyre. So it's James Folkard that leads from Curtis Wright, number 77 there, up ahead of number 74. Folkard, who doesn't really feature in the championship, just looking to get himself up there. There's rumour that he might well ride an Aprilia RSV4 in the round or two's time. There's Michael Neves on full wets. Up behind him there, Steve Parsons, number 11. So Stephen Parsons going through. The way he went past him there would suggest to me that Stephen Parsons has something slightly drier underneath him than what Michael Neves does at the moment, because it's very much dry weather still at the moment. Although a few wobbles coming there from Folkard that leads. There's a change there for 2nd place now. Looks like Shane Pearson challenging Curtis Wright, and he does go by. So number 35, Shane Pearson, on for his best result of the season. This is Dave Brook, who was looking like he was about to make a move on Curtis Wright as well, and he does. Nice stuff there from Dave Brook as he goes through into Tarzan, the hairpin, before coming through this really tricky chicane section here. Which leads basically onto the start-finish straight again. You can see there, you've got to be ever so careful. It can go all wrong there. We've seen a few last gasp manoeuvres over the years. Across the line we go to complete another lap, and it is Folkard still leads. Further back there is Sam Boyers, number 169. Max Wadsworth, number 72, who's having a good run out. What tyres has Max got on? They look like wets, you know, that Max Wadsworth's got on there as well. He's out there on a 600, so significantly down on power compared to a few of the other opponents. But other than the start, finish straight, and then the lead down to Dean Hairpin, you'd have to say that there's not really... Oh, and that's Dave Brook, and he's gone down. The onboard camera on Dave Brook, and he's gone down and out of the race. He's up, he's okay, but Dave was on for a decent result there. Unfortunately, that's the end of it, and he'll have to wait now for race 2, which will be coming up later. This is your race leader. You can see the rain. The rain is falling now. Now, this could be interesting. James Folkard's out there on slick tyres. In a moment or two, those tyres will not be very handy at all, and you can see him tiptoeing around Tarzan, hairpin. Now, this will be the moment where people like Michael Neves, etc., Max Wadsworth will be rubbing their hands together. Here he is, number 33. He'd fallen way back, a good 30, 40 seconds behind the rest of the pack. He must be thanking his lucky stars here. Michael Neves out there on the Prime Factors Racing BMW, of course, MCN reporter. He must be loving it now. It's not going to be grippy, even though he's got wets on, because he'll have worn away most of the grip on those wets. But if it really starts to pour down, and you can see the curbs there, quite slippery. Folkard's going to have to be careful here. If it falls down any longer, you'd have to question whether or not it's actually advisable to stay out with slick tyres on. As you are probably aware, slick tyres in wet weather, they don't really work, and there is a classic example. The high side out of Dean Corner. Sorry, James, we called that one, but that was inevitable, unfortunately. Slick tyres in these conditions, it just doesn't work out. And now look at Michael Neves. He's flown through past Stephen Parsons, then Shane Pearson, and Michael Neves all of a sudden finds himself at the front of this race, and that was an absolutely brilliant decision. Now, Stephen Parsons is going past Pearson as well, so earlier on he went flying past Neves. Has he got maybe intermediates on, which meant that he had a bit of grip? It was okay as it got a bit wobbly, but he'll be better off with them than slicks. Shane Pearson, by the way he's riding, I would suggest that he's got slick tyres on. You can just see them. Look how upright they're having to keep it. Meanwhile, Michael Neves out front here. What a result this would be, and what a call. You just never know, do you? There'll be a few riders out there, of course, further back, and that's Curtis Wright, who's out of the race at the top of your screen there as well. Curtis is out, the championship leader overall. Well, what a mix this is. Michael Neves, who's currently 8th overall in the championship, could really close down on his competitors here with a decent result. Sam Boyers, I can tell you, the Superstock rider, number 169, is flying through the pack. He must have wet tyres on as well. There he is, in fact. We just saw him at the bottom of your screen. So here's Neves. He's got himself a comfortable advantage. Looks like Stewart Martin, number 44, is going well out there on an Aprilia. Jonathan Panter's making good progress. He's a pre-national rider, number 55. He's flying through the pack as well. We're running out of riders here. There are riders going out off our time screens, left, right and centre. But Michael Neves, what a call this was. You would not have put too much money on a top 3 result like this, and that's no disrespect to Michael Neves, who's very, very capable of a top 3. He's proven that in the past, but look at them all. It's unbelievable, this. It's like watching them go round at moped speed. It's just incredible. It's slick tyres, you just can't. There's Max Wadsworth, he's got wets on. There's nothing that Shane Pearson can do. He's just looking to pick up as many points as possible. Of course, Shane is 2nd overall in the Superstock 1000 Championship, and Adam Shelton leads it. So with Adam out, Shane has got some big points that he can actually get here, and even if it's just 1 or 2, it all counts. But he'll be praying to see the checkered flag. What an extraordinary race here that we are witnessing. Remember seeing a race like this some 3-4 years ago back in the World Superbike Championship, and that was bizarre enough, but this is just incredible. There's only 3 or 4 riders out there that have gone for full wets. I'll tell you what, if there'd have been another lap or 2 gone in the dry, they'd have been pulling into pit lane, but they've stayed out. There's Sam Boyers, who's now moved up into 2nd place. Last year's Pre-National Sport 1000 champion, number 169, who incidentally has picked up an award this weekend for Best Turned Out Machine. And, well, he's very thankful indeed at the moment of the weather. Here are 2 riders fighting away. That's number 44 on the Aprilia, Stewart Martin, and they're going around the outside of him there on the 600. That's Max Wadsworth. So Max Wadsworth here could finish 3rd overall. It's just incredible scenes. I don't know if I mentioned number 44 might have wets on. He may well have inters on as well. It's very difficult to see. Definitely Wadsworth has got wets on. Here's Jonathan Panter, who's flying through, number 55. He's just gone past number 11, Stephen Parsons, who was having a good weekend until the rain started falling. They're wet, you can see that clearly. So Jonathan Panter, a Pre-National Sport 1000 rider, is going to inevitably here take the win overall. Checkered flag goes out. Michael Neves has done it. Well, that is just amazing, really. I bet he was thinking when he lined up on the grid with those wets, this is a bad move. We'll find out in a moment because we'll chat to him. But after that bizarre opening race, Michael Neves takes the win ahead of Sam Boyers, who wins the Superstock class. Wadsworth was third, Stuart Martin fourth, Jonathan Panto was fifth and wins the Pre-National Sport Thousands. Stephen Parsons in sixth place. There's Neves then, the race winner ahead of Sam Boyers and Max Wadsworth. In the Super Stocks, it's Boyers with the win ahead of Stephen Parsons and Shane Pearson. And in the Pre-National Sport Thousands, it's Jonathan Panter, Gary Woodward and Michael Mace. Michael Neves, you started from pole. We knew coming into Rockingham that this would be a strong point for you, but even when I checked out your wet tyres, I wasn't sure if that was a good call because there was a few other options out there, people on full slicks. Opening few laps, really dry. Tell us about what it was like.
I think I'm the luckiest man on the grid. I gambled on the wets. After 3 or 4 laps, I thought it was the wrong choice because the track was dry, even though there's a little bit of moisture on the visor. But then after a few laps, the rain started coming down, and I thought all my Christmases had come at once, and everyone just started coming back towards me. So pure luck.
Who would you like to thank?
I'd like to thank Prime Factors Racing and Pirelli. I'm using Pirelli tyres for the first time this weekend, and they've been really helpful. So yeah, and of course MCN, the boss.
Winner of the Superstock Thousands, Sam. It's been a while since we've spoken to you, but it's a pleasure. Went for wets, definitely the right choice there in the end.
Yeah, at first, we was on the grid and everybody had, well, a few people had dries, and I was like, it's not starting to rain, it was just drizzling. I was like, maybe we've made the wrong choice. But it just kept raining, just kept a constant pace. Tried to keep it in a straight line, and one by one people fell off on the dries and just kept a constant pace, It obviously paid off, hasn't it? So
yeah, it certainly has. Who would you like to thank?
Floma Paints, Autosmart Preston and Jackson Racing, thanks a lot.
Pre-National 1000 winner Jonathan Panter. Jonathan, I noticed that you've gone for wets as well, and the same story as everyone else so far. Even though you're out there on wets in the wet, it still doesn't make it any easier, does it?
No, especially when it was dry. I think we cooked them, to be honest, because as soon as it did turn wet, it was a nightmare. It was probably like being on, not slicks, but it was greasy, moving about all over the place. But luckily for me, a few of the opponents made it a bit easier for me. It's cost me a brand new rear, but what do you do?
Who would you like to thank?
Big thanks to RJS Superbike for doing all the tuning and preparing the bike. BKB8 for helping me out with money-wise on tyres and fuel. Matt and Alex for same with fuel and tyres. GBRacing for stickering the bike up. The missus and all the crew for helping me out today. And Ash Stone's lot. They're a pain in the ass, but they've done a good job.
Thanks for joining us for GP1. Don't go anywhere though. A&R Racing Pre-National Sport 600s after the break. Well, as you can probably see from the weather here, it's absolutely lashing it down now, and there's no real doubt that wets are the order of the day. Harry Truelove, leader of the championship, on pole position, number 15. Johnny Towers here, second on the grid, number 77. Darren Ibbotson, of course, doing very well in the championship, struggling a little bit here this weekend. Jack Liddell should be lining up third on the grid as well. He's had an absolutely superb weekend so far. Nick Manger's also been on the podium as well. Lots to look out for. So here we go then. You can see there number 70, Nick Manger, as I just mentioned. Also Sam Osborne, number 73 from Billingshurst on the MSG Racing Suzuki. And there's a gap on the front row. Jack Liddell didn't make it round onto the grid. Not sure what's happened there, but after an excellent day yesterday, Jack hasn't made it out. Now, I wonder if there was a problem for him in this morning's warm-up. A few riders struggled. I mentioned Darren Ibbotson just there. I didn't realise, actually. Darren's been struggling. He's broken his thumb, and there's a rider who's gone down straight away, and out of the race goes number 81, and that's Stevie Elliott. Stevie, one of our Royal Marine riders, out there on a Triumph, and that's the end of his weekend already. Well, I say that, he'll be out on the next race, so hopefully there wasn't too much damage to his machine, but a number of riders hurt themselves. Darren Ibbotson, I think, has broken his thumb or something, so he's really in pain, just looking to get some points. And I can hear the circuit commentators making a bit of noise, and that's because that's Harry Truelove. Harry Truelove, the championship leader, has gone down, a rider that was so comfortable in terms of the championship lead when we left last time. And there's another rider down. Unbelievable. They're going down like flies here. Well, everybody knew the track conditions. So that's John Robertson that just went down there, number 11. So many riders here going down in the early stages. We had a few down in practice on Friday as well. It was pretty poor conditions here yesterday, by the way, absolutely glorious typically. tale of 2 days, really. We had a similar situation at Cadwell Park earlier in the year as well. The Thundersport GB Championships this year, the rain following us around somewhat. Was that James May who's just gone straight on before we get into the sheet? It was, and he's managed to stay on. He's cut across the grass, but made no advantage, so he should be okay. But James May there not going the right way through the final chicane. So that leaves Johnny Towers out front. Team Edge Racing on the Honda. Johnny with a bit of experience. He used to race a fair bit. Of course, he stopped racing, and it's been some time since he's come back. He's a keen cyclist racer as well, and he is, of course, heavily involved and is one of the big bosses at RST Motor Direct with the leathers, etc. You'll see RST leathers, and he often actually wears leathers that are pretty much prototypes for the future. So the leathers that you see people wearing RST-wise next year are ones that Johnny's got on at the moment. There's waved yellow flag there. There is Sam Osborne. There's another rider who's gone down. In fact, there's a couple. And that is number 4 who's gone down, Lee Howarth, and number 17, Nick Manger. 2 riders that would normally feature in the top 6 are down and out of this race. So, well, that leaves Johnny Towers still out front. Here he is, number 77. Not yet won a race in the 600 class as yet. And let's just see who that is in second place. Sam Osborne's making decent progress, and in second it is Sam Osborne, number 73. There he goes. That'll be his best result. James May, despite the moment earlier on, is in third place because of the high rate of attrition going on at the moment. And then in fourth, that looks like George Pycroft, number 67. Further back, riders that are going well. Sam McFarlane on the MSG Racing Suzuki, and the Jordan Servicing Triumph of Ben Shuttlewood as well. Good job, Ben. He's going well, number 83. There's George Pycroft, the yellow and black Triumph. They're closing in now on James May. So George obviously not too bothered about these weather conditions. That's sometimes there's Ben Shuttlewood up ahead of Greg Scanlon. Nice to see him up there. And number 10 as well, Michael Dexter on the Big Dog Racing Triumph. So that is the thing with wet racing. Sometimes you do find 1 or 2 riders making their way through, and there is George Pycroft pulling through on James May and moves himself now into a podium position. So Harry Truelove has gone out. James May fights back here as they head up towards the Dean hairpin. By the way, this is a horrible corner. I'm sorry, but when I was lucky enough to actually do a lap of the circuit in the course car, in inverted commas, with Sid, and going through into Dean hairpin. It looks just about one of the worst hairpins you could ever imagine. It's off camber. There's a lump in the road where the old circuit sort of joins onto the infield, and then it's a bit threatening bit. It's 2-part corner, and then on the exit it's off camber as well. So the circuit just feels like it's constantly rolling away from you. Hence why you'll see a lot of front end tucks and high sides on the exit. A lot of the corners actually here around this Rockingham circuit slightly off camber, so you have to be careful. It might not feel like the grippiest of circuits here in the wet, as you've probably already seen. Here's George Pycroft then trying to look up the inside of James May as they go into Tarzan, and nicely done there from George. Now it's all about getting on the power as much as possible before heading into Brook Corner from the School Straight. Pit entrance is then on the left, but these guys, you can see it really is hammering it down here with rain. All the riders are on wet. Johnny Towers, though, really is pulling away now. Now, in terms of the championship, I was going to bring it up a moment ago. Harry Truelove was leading. He's got a huge gap over Darren Ibbotson. Ibbotson struggling in this race. He's outside of the points at the moment. Brendan Malander is inside the top 8. He's third in the championship. Michael Tustin is currently just inside the points. James May is going to be one of the riders that will really lift himself up, and George Pycroft and Sam Osborne, of course. So there, James May's 5th in the championship, Pycroft 8th, Sam Osborne 10th. Big points on offer then for those riders, and at the moment you can see this is the battle for third place. George Pycroft there, number 67, just having a look over his shoulder on the Pallet Brothers Racing Triumph there. So out front it's Johnny Towers, 77 on the Edge Racing Honda. Then it's MSG Racing Sam Osborne, number 73. That'll be his best result of the season so far. On that last lap he was actually slightly quicker than Johnny Towers. Johnny going very well. Of course, we saw him out at Alton Park last time out, running well. There's Brendan Malander, number 6 on the Team Malley Honda, and then Ben Shuttlewood, number 83, who's closing him down. This could be one of the results of the season for Ben, who's, well, last year, of course, the Leicester rider ran into a bit of trouble and got himself injured a few times. Oh, this is pretty disgusting conditions out there. Brendan Mallender there has got a dark visor on as well. That won't be helping. It's another problem, you know, that realistically in the last 20 years, there haven't really been an awful lot of solutions to, is the steaming up of visors. So many riders still struggling with that. The last lap flag is out though, and Johnny Towers, who's got that orange tinted visor, he's obviously a fan of that. Some riders are, some aren't. Towers just has a lap then left of this Rockingham circuit to take the victory. Sam Osborne is close enough if it was to go slightly wrong here for Johnny, but he won't be close enough to make an attack on this final lap, provided Johnny puts all the corners together right. This is a 90-degree right-hander into Yentwood. A number of riders we've seen go down there over the course of the weekend. Chapman curve, by the way, here. I believe on Friday we actually had 24 riders in Friday practice go down at Chapman curve. So whichever marshal it was that was corner commander of that post, Johnny Walker, I believe it was, and he's no relation to the drink, Johnny Walker. So we see a change here, Ben Shuttlewood past Brendan Mallender. Johnny Walker it was, good old Johnny. He was a busy boy, I bet he slept well on Friday night. This is Johnny Towers though, number 77. He exits Tarzan, heads down the school straight, and just a few corners left then for him. Here's Ben Shuttlewood. Ben is now up ahead of Brendan Mallender and up into 6th place. Good job for Mr. Shuttlewood, he'll be happy with that. Best result of the season for him. Checkered flag is out though in this race, and waiting for this man, Johnny Towers, who's about to pick up his first Pre-National Sports 600 win of 2015, and I'm sure he'll be very happy with that indeed. And there he is, look at him, he's over the moon, like Superman, across the line. He takes 25 points here in race 1 at Rockingham, ahead of Sam Osborne. Best result of the season for him. Likewise, George Pycroft. James May 4th, solid result for him. Sam McFarlane in 5th. Ben Shuttlewood finishes in 6th place overall. There's the top 3. Well, Johnny Towers is missing, but we did catch up with him eventually. Here he is. Johnny Towers, filthy day here at Rockingham, but a decent result.
Yeah, I'm really, really pleased. So sort of when I set out, I was desperate to win a race, and then the last thing I thought was I'd win one in the wet. And this morning, the sort of warm-up was dry, went all right in warm-up, and just thought, I know it's going to rain, so just get your head around it, get stuck in. Set off on that first lap, and Harry just disappeared, and I just thought, I can't run that fast. So just settle in, saw him go down really big, and just thought, you know what, head down, took the lead, and just try to be smooth and consistent and just plugging away. There was so much. I learned a lot watching other people crash, to be honest, because you could see where there was grip and where there wasn't. Shortcut a few corners and just stayed smooth and kept my head down, and yeah, worked out in the end. Really pleased, really, really pleased.
Anyone to thank at all?
Yeah, just really, the people who helped me prepare the bike. In fact, not prepare, helped me. Ali Grant at Complog, Eddie Roberts, Complog Performance. If it wasn't for those guys, I can't go racing. I've got a really busy business life, and those guys took me back in. They helped me out. My teammates, Nick Edgley, Lawrence, and Casey Wyatt, Team Edge. Yeah, we've got a really good bunch of guys. I'm really, really enjoying riding.
More 600 action coming up for you after the break. The GBRacing 600 Sportsman Elite is next. Still raining here at Rockingham, ready for the next race. Sportsman Elite 600s now. These can be carnage, even in the dry, so heaven knows what we're in for here in the wet. Obviously, wet tyres order of the day. Davey Todd here, he's used to a bike going sideways. Orange jacket, but ex-Supermoto. On pole position, though, is Matt Truelove, number 59. Good to have Matt with us. His brother is on the second row. Adam Clark on the front row as well. Adam, former Thundersport 500 champion of a few years ago. Any number of riders could feature here on the podium. 38 points between 4 riders in the Sportsman Elite 600 Championship overall. Matt Truelove 2 ahead of Lee Williams, Davey Todd in 3rd, Harry Truelove then in 4th place, and behind them Milo Ward, Corey McGreevy, Dean Mulcahy. It really is a talented field this. Who's good in the wet? Well, you're about to find out. Across into turn 1 we go. Davey Todd with the advantage, then Harry Truelove. up ahead of Matt Truelove. Here we're on board with Davey Todd looking back. Harry Truelove then went past him on the left. There's Lee Williams, easy to spot. Yellow bike, number 94 with the bright orange helmet or red helmet, whatever colour you want to call it. Number 59 there is Matt Truelove. So it's Harry Truelove that leads. His younger brother, he really is coming along very nicely, isn't he, Harry Truelove? There's Lee Williams trying to find a move up in the inside of Matt Truelove. There's Dean Mulcahy, black bike with the lime green trim. Then Adam Clark, number 87, the rider from Normanton. And there is a change there as Dean Mulcahy moves up into 4th place overall. So of these, keep an eye out for Davey Todd, number 23, and Lee Williams, number 94. Both of them ex-Supermoto riders. They're used to bikes going sideways. Davey Todd, what about it? Orange bib on, a rookie for this year. First year in road racing, and he's 2 points behind Matt Truelove overall in the championship. In fact, as it stands, he would reclaim the lead of a championship that he led just before we went into Alton Park. He's yet to actually get a win in the championship, so that just shows you how much consistency he has had so far throughout this season. On board now with Davey Todd again, this time looking up ahead towards Harry Truelove. This will give you a good idea as to what this chicane is like, and that was a lovely move. Look at the standing water there, and then they will flick left again before making their way onto the oval here at Rockingham. There's Matt Truelove, 59, then Lee Williams, 94. By the way, bikes with a red backboard and yellow numbers are stock 600 bikes, and then the rest should, in theory, be running white backings and blue numbers. Here is the change for the lead once more. Davey Todd has been overtaken by Harry Truelove, but he goes back past him again, and now we head up towards Dean Hepburn. Oh, major moment there for Harry Truelove, out of the saddle, stays on. Oh, squeaky bottom moment there for Harry Truelove, and his brother now shoots through into 3rd place, takes a tight entry into the hairpin. Good racing so far then from the 600 boys. This, compared to the 600 class you just watched, slightly different in terms of talent and experience. Pre-national 600s, what we saw a moment ago, a championship for riders that are yet to attain a national licence. These guys know all about it. Oh, well they do! And the experience not paying off there for Dean Mulcahy, a rider that made his debut at this circuit just last year, or was it the year before that? Commentary curse there, sorry Dino. He goes down and out with a high side. You see, it just proves that experience doesn't always count for everything. Here is Davey Todd. Harry Truelove, by the way, was a rookie last year, so these two are not that experienced, but they are quick. Harry Truelove really having to be very careful here on the throttle, because he's making a lot of noises, isn't he? You can see him pushing that Yamaha R6 left, right and centre, trying to keep with Davey Todd, who at the moment, despite being an ex-Supermoto rider, looks pretty comfortable, I have to say. The pair of them just pulling away from the rest of the pack, and again we saw that might be the case earlier on. Harry Truelove went wide into the chicane. This time he runs even more so, and Lee Williams comes through. Lee Williams, who's running the new Pipeworks R11 race can, which he's saying is very good for performance at low decibels. He's happy with his sponsorship from Pipeworks, and that's running well for him. Of course, he must be thinking himself very happy indeed at the moment after what happened to him last round at Alton Park. The best weekend we've seen for him by a long way, picking up a couple of race wins. And Lee Williams there going underneath again Harry Truelove, who must have just momentarily got back past Lee Williams again. That's a Formula 600 bike that Lee's got up against a stock 600 bike, but in these conditions, believe me, you won't really notice the difference. There is number 68, that's Tom Neve. Nice to see Tom up there at the sharp end. Talented rider, Tom, but has had tendencies over the season to throw it away. And just as I say that, I held my breath as he went to put the power on the exit of Chapman Curve. They then go left into a rather oddly named corner Piff Path, then onto the Steel Straight, which isn't a straight, then into Graceland, no sign of Elvis, and then it's Davey Todd, number 23, who leads ahead of Lee Williams and Harry Truelove. So Matt Truelove leads the championship, but not for much longer as it stands. This would be very close overall. A championship that could go down to the wire potentially between 4 or 5 riders maybe. And let's just see what's happening further back. There's Jordan Rushby, who's back, of course, after that nasty injury sustained at Snetterton. Had a big high side on Friday. Damaged his beautifully designed new helmet, so he's up there with a clear white one today. Adam Clark is still in the top 6. Still got Alex Baker out there, who's having a good run on the GBRacing Yamaha. Tim Neve, brother of Tom, still in the top 10. Jarvis Adams, Jordan Rashby, as we just saw. Joe Sheldon Shaw. Nice to have Joe Sheldon Shaw back. He's recovered. This is his first weekend back since that big crash on the start-finish straight at Snetterton. He got his leg caught in the back wheel of another bike, and they were going at some speed, let me tell you. He's returned, and he's had a crash already this weekend, so to say that he's hurting is an understatement, but he's doing very well indeed. Great to have him back out there on the LS Racing Yamaha, and I'm sure we'll see him fighting back to his best shortly. There's Matt Truelove, incidentally, up ahead of Max Wadsworth, number 72. You just saw him out in the GP1 race a moment ago, and he just squeezes past Matt. Yellow flags are waving. There's a rider gone down, and Max joins them. And, well, it just goes to show you here, this is unbelievable. Max just lays there for a while. The Matt Chapman curve, poor old Johnny Walker, he's going to need to go and see a doctor after this weekend. I think he'll have certainly lost a few pounds with all the running he's got to do. There's another one gone down. The two Truelove brothers are racing together here. There's Harry past Matt. Harry would have been a lot further up had he have not gone straight on down at the chicane, of course, earlier on. Very, very difficult here at the moment for riders to stay upright. It is still Davey Todd that leads overall, and with this win he would move to the top of the championship, or would he? No, I'm lying, my maths was wrong. At the moment he wouldn't, but he'd be very, very close. It really depends on where Matt finishes. There's Davey Todd, number 23. There is Lee Williams in second, number 94. And then there's a bit of a gap further back to this large battle for third place. Now Harry Truelove has got third again. He's broken away from Tom Neve. There is then Matt Truelove, number 59, and Adam Clark, number 87. So Matt Truelove seems to have moments where he's going well and then back again. But I'll tell you what, when you take a closer look at him, it looks like his visor is really fogged and steamed up. Now, I can tell you from experience, that's a nightmare. There's nothing you can do. There's absolutely nothing you can do. But you're certainly not at 100% performance. And look, you can see him keep on lifting up his visor. He's having real trouble there, Matt Truelove. And that is the reason why he is falling back through the field. And Adam Clark now trying to gobble him up and get past him through Chapman Curve. Easy does it, boys. It's slippery through there. This is 23, though. Davey Todd from Saltburn. Ex-Supermoto rider who I think has got quite a bright future. He's got the double thickness knee sliders on there, by the way. Good thinking in these wet conditions. You don't want to crank it over too much. You don't want it to be too far over on the edge of the tyre. And so Davey Todd has got, he's looking very smooth, isn't he? Really smooth indeed. Not had really any major moments as he now makes his way onto the start-finish straight. Not long to go now for him. Here's Lee Williams, who would technically win the Formula 600s with this and finish second overall. Last lap flag is out. Mark is getting a soaking there. Really horrible conditions this for everyone, really. You know, there are some riders that really enjoy racing in the wet. There are others that absolutely hate it, but you can certainly see which ones are favouring it more. Here's Harry Truelove again, an eventful race for Harry. Of course, went down in the pre-national 600 race you saw earlier on. Nearly went down in this one as well. He'll have another couple of races still to go in this show coming up later on. Looks like there won't be any tricky tyre decisions to make for the GP1 guys in the next race either. We saw that remarkable race, didn't we, that went dry to wet. Well, they will probably have an all-wet race coming up. There's Adam Clark then. This is definitely the best performance we've seen from Adam on a 600. He's had a good one this weekend, and not just, I should point out, not just in the wet. He's looked very, very good in the dry. That third place on the grid is courtesy of Mega Laps, and that was after a dry day at the office yesterday here. So Adam Clark is definitely going in the right direction. The former Thundersport 500 champion, and Davey Todd has a look over his shoulder. Very good ride indeed from Davey. He deserves this. It'll be his first win in the GBRacing Sportsman Elite 600 Championship. He's on a stock bike. There's Matt Truelove. You can see that visor completely steamed up. What an absolute nightmare that is. Checkered flag goes out. Thumbs up then. Stand-up wheelie for Davey Todd, who takes 25 points, and that was well deserved to Davey. Well done to you. He takes the win ahead of Lee Williams. Those guys really will eat into Matt Truelove's lead because he could only finish in 6th. Harry Truelove, his younger brother, was 3rd. Tom Neve in a solid form. Adam Clark in the end finishing 5th. There's the top 3 in the Super Stocks then. Davey Todd, Harry Truelove, Tom Neve, and in the Formulas, Lee Williams, Jarvis Adams, and Nick Edgley. Winner in some pretty treacherous conditions there, Davey Todd. Davey, not just a win in the Superstock 600s, but a win outright as well. It's really good for your championship. What a ride that was.
Yeah, it was a brilliant race. I really enjoyed battling with Harry, and I'm not sure what happened to him behind me, but I managed to get a little bit of a gap and then relax, and no, it was a great race. I enjoyed it.
Who would you like to thank?
I'd like to thank my family more than anybody. Chris Cox, Neil J, DCR, Rock Oil, Bell Helmets, everything but bikes, and I just want to I want to dedicate this victory to Joel Clark, and I hope he has a speedy recovery over in Belgium.
Winner of the Formula 600 race, Lee Williams. You weren't quite able to keep up with Davey Todd. Is it any surprise that there are 2 ex-Supermoto riders on the top 2 steps here?
Well, you know, as Davey will tell you, when it's a bit wet at Supermoto, coming off that dirt section on tarmac is slippy, and this track sums up a Supermoto track because it is a bit greasy and slippy, but you know, I needed to pass the guys in front a little bit quicker, and I might have had a chance of staying with Davey, but you know, Davey rode a good race. He kept it upright, and so did I, so we got points after a disappointing race yesterday, but now we're going to second race now with our hopes high.
Who would you like to thank?
Massive thanks to Phil from High Tech Coatings, because without him we wouldn't be here. Sister, dad, you know, they've put a lot of hard work in to get funds together and everything else. Girlfriend, Oakley Cheshire Oaks, VW Salvage, Rock Oil, Pipeworks, Sports Bike Shop, Mike Wright, MW Racing, D Davis Construction, just everyone that's helped me throughout the year from start to now, and hope we continue to the end of the year. Thanks.
That's it from the first 3 races, but there's another 3 still to go. GP1's coming up next. Welcome back to Rockingham, Thundersport GP1 Race 2. As you probably noticed, I'm not down on the grids. No. I'm in a warm commentary box. I'm not silly. There's Curtis Wright, number 74. Full wets here. That's the problem. You see, my hair was getting wet. Currently have to sort that out. James Folkard, well, he borrowed Deck's bike. He promptly dumped Deck's bike, and Deck has let him have another go. That is very brave of Deck, but he's a fabulous rider, is James Folkard, and James this time definitely has full wets on. The rest of the field do as well. The red flag at the front means that we are ready to go racing, and then once the lights go out, these guys will be let loose. Michael Neves has full wets on, but this time he's got a wet circuit to deal with, and everybody else is on wets as well. Now you can see that there's a lot of spray up there, and people obviously wear different things over their leathers to try and keep themselves dry. It'll be difficult in this. We're on board with Dave Brook, looking back to number 169, Sam Boyers. Dave Brook, of course, didn't finish the race last time out, as we now head up towards Dean Hairpin. Up the inside of him goes Sam Boyers. On the left of him is number 44, and that's Stewart Martin. Further back there is number 57, Mike Smith, but it's Folkard there, 77. Up ahead of Shane Pearson, Wadsworth, number 11 with the green bike, Kawasaki in the yellow jacket is Stephen Parsons, and then it's the Prime Factors BMW rider Michael Neves, who won the race from earlier on, who's just up there inside the top 6, the BMW man who certainly lifted himself up in the championship with that brilliant result. Here is Folkard though, number 77, the rider from Liverpool, backed by In Competition of course, and T. Scott in the Super Twins Championship that he leads. You can see those races from Thundersport GB on GP-Racing Dream. Of course, you can watch them all back throughout the whole season on the website as well, www.thundersportgb.com. Here is Stephen Parsons though. He's looking rather aggressive in the opening stages of this race. The Giraffe Racing Kawasaki rider closing in on the rest of the field. All of them now trying to make a move on Folkard. Now, we said at the start of race 1 that Curtis Wright, number 74, may well have been rubbing his hands together, because his nearest rivals in the championship are nowhere to be seen, but there he is, Curtis struggling away, maybe just lacking a bit of confidence here. I don't know whether it's affected him or not, but just struggling away here, so he'll be glad that he does have that championship lead at the moment. Again, we mentioned at the start of the show, Adam Shelton, he was leading the GP1 race by a mile yesterday in the dry. I don't know what happened exactly, but it looked like he clipped the grass around about here, and it was a horrible, horrible crash, and so we send Adam all the best. He's sent lots of pictures I can see on Facebook, and he's He's got the thumbs up. He might not be out in the next round, but he'll certainly be back at some point. Talented rider from Hull. Here is number 77 though, Folkard, that leads from Wadsworth. A reminder, Max Wadsworth in second. Number 72 is on a 600, which actually isn't going to be a bad idea. It won't be quite as aggressive on the power out of corners. He'll probably be able to carry a bit more corner speed. It's a different riding style required, not just in the wet, but on a 600 in general. And so Max Wadsworth, certainly around these twisty parts, will get a bit of an advantage here. But then as they get onto the straight sections, that's where Folkard will certainly pull away. Here's David Brook. He's just made a move on his Arconi Racing Kawasaki on Michael Neves. And there is number 72 Wadsworth on the SCL Racing Kawasaki. Rider from Halifax, of course, up in Yorkshire. This is the race for the overall lead. There is 164, Matt Stevenson. He's one of many Pre-National 1000 sport riders, as well as Panther there. You can see in the black and yellow machine that won the Pre-National Sport 1000 race earlier on. That championship is still wide open. Michael Mace leads that, but there's any number of riders could win that, maybe 5 or 6 riders. At the moment, Shea Burton is the rider that leads the Pre-National Sport 1000s. Number 12 on the SB Racing Suzuki, beautifully turned out bike that one, Shea Burton, who of course was year before I believe it was. He ran out as the Clubman 1000 champion, I believe it was named then. Here you can see number 72, Max Wadsworth, struggling now to stay with Folkard, who's got the bit between his teeth. And they've got a bit of traffic that they're coming up to there as well. They're just about to lap. That is Michael Mace, we just mentioned, looking to finish, currently leading the Pre-National Sport 1000, and another rider as well that they're going around. James Folkard there, going the long way around as they exit Piff Paff. There is Shane Pearson, the reigning Golden Era Superbike champion, and then Dave Brook, number 73, who we were on board with earlier on. Having a bit of a lonely race at the moment, but Folkard leads it. So Deck it is that has lent in this BMW. He hasn't got a sidekick called Ant, but I don't know what his surname is, so apologies. So it's just Deck, that's all I know. There's Sam Boyers, number 169, of course winner of the Stock 1000 race earlier on, the rider from Leyland on the Autosmart Honda. Having a good weekend, this one. Here's Max Wadsworth again, number 72, the rider from Halifax. A bit of a strung out race. It can happen in the wet, unfortunately for us, but it does occasionally throw up 1 or 2 surprises. But, well, 4 riders out of the top 5, 6 of the championship are not going to be picking up any points here, so an excellent opportunity to make up for lost time. So that's Stockdale, I can see just getting lapped there as well. Wadsworth here just eating through some of the tail enders as he goes right into Yentwood and then up towards Chapman Curve, off camber on approach. But I still can't quite work out how there have been so many crashes there, because there's nothing other than the fact that it's slightly off camber that I can work out that makes it quite such a trap for riders. But it has been this weekend. There's Shane Pearson once again. I'll have to ask Shane why he's got the Scottish flag on that side of the helmet, because I've not heard anyone with a Scottish accent in that team, unless I'm mistaken, so I'll have to ask him by the time of next round. By the way, the next round for Thundersport GB, Anglesey in northwest Wales. Let's hope the weather isn't a mirror image of what you're looking at the moment, because that place can be hell in these conditions. It's heaven or hell, Anglesey. In the sun, it is one of the most beautiful circuits in the world. In the wet and wind, it's absolutely awful. There's number 31. Jack Croucher, sorry, on the Kawasaki, just getting lapped by Max Wadsworth. But James Folkard in complete control. And this just goes to show you what a rider James Folkard is. A rider that has struggled to get sponsorship for a number of years now. He's been heavily supported by a number of people, T. Scott, of course, and Ian Newton in competition, and a lot of people have tried to help him over the years, but it's the big funding that he needs. He's a rider that really could go places. He's still young. What more does he need to do? He proves it on whatever bike he jumps on. He's the only rider that's ever won an Aprilia Super Team Championship and an Aprilia 450 Championship. collectively. No other rider has ever done that. It looks like he's well on his way at the moment to winning the Super Twins Championship, but we won't count our chickens just yet. And he jumps on a GP1 machine for the first time this year, and it's wet. He's never been on the bike before, and he's leading a GP1 race, and there are no slouchers out here. There's Stephen Parsons having his best run of the season so far. Brilliant to see, because Stephen last year was a rookie pretty much in the Pre-National 600 Championship out there on a Triumph, and he disappeared toward the end of the season. Not really sure what happened to him, but he's having a good run. He's currently third overall behind Max Wadsworth, but Parsons is going to win the Superstock class if he takes it. Shane Pearson and Dave Brook are then following, but this is the man that is going to take the spoils. There are rumours, as I mentioned earlier, that there could be an Aprilia RSV4 waiting in the wings for him. You may have heard recently that Ian Newton has got an Aprilia RSV4 waiting. Joe Burns has jumped on that, and there's another one apparently waiting in the wings for this man, and he's certainly proving that he deserves the ride. Could we see him in GP1 class next year? Well, he's taken a win. Max Wadsworth finishes second, Parsons third, fourth for Shane Pearson. Another solid finish for him. Dave Brook fifth, Sam Boyes in sixth place. There you see the top three then, Folkard, Wadsworth and Stephen Parsons. In the stock thousands, it's Parsons with the win ahead of Shane Pearson and Dave Brook. And in the pre-nationals, it's Shea Burton, the race winner, from Jonathan Panter and Matt Stevenson. Now, championship. Curtis Wright still leads overall. 80 points his advantage over the absent Adam Shelton. That's comfortable enough. Shane Pearson now up to third, ahead of Billy Mellor and Phil Crow, and Dave Brook in sixth. So Shane Pearson, the big mover there. Well done. Superstock thousands, Adam Shelton still ahead, but just by a point. Again, Shane Pearson, the big mover. Dave Brook in third, closing in. Then it's Parsons. Oh, good effort there. He's up to fourth ahead of Craig Neave and Billy Mellor. And in the pre-national sport thousands, it's 10 points now between Michael Mace and Gary Woodward. Panther is up to third. Then it's Stevenson, York and Stockdale. Winner of Thundersport GP1, James Folkard. James, you're out on borrowed machinery, and once again you prove your talents, wet or dry. Fantastic result.
Yeah, I mean, after the first race we were leading by so far, but obviously the rain just kept coming down, and I actually had slicks on, so I thought I'll break away at the beginning and then I'll be able to just slow it down, but obviously not slow it down enough. But in that race, obviously, it was just wet the whole way through, wet tyres on, and it was fantastic. Riding the BM is absolutely incredible, to be honest with you. Just riding 1,000 in general, it's almost as easier, to be honest, than the 550, the Aprilia. So I really enjoyed it.
Who would you like to thank then?
A massive thanks to Deck. It's actually Deck's bike, and obviously it fell off it, so I was absolutely devastated for him, obviously, as well. Andy Barker, he's helped me out with a tyre. Obviously, my mum and dad and everybody here. I've got Dave Lewis to thank, because he's been helping me out as well. Ian Newton, as always, from in competition. John Davis from JDF Racing, and of course all the team from T Scott and all the team from T Scott and all the marshals getting soaked out there.
Stephen Parsons, winner of the Superstock 1000. Not particularly pleasant conditions out there, but good to have you back on the podium. You've been progressively getting better and better at each round.
Yeah, we're getting better and better. We're getting used to the big bike now, and I've never not hated the rain as such, so I'd say it was good to get a good result today, and especially first visit here at Rockingham, so I know it's blooming slippy around here, but no, we went alright and did alright, yeah.
Anyone to thank?
Well, apart from my dad and family and that lot, but I would like to say, now that I'm up here, if anybody would like to help me, I am desperate for help. If you email me or whatever on s.parsons11@gmail.com, and hopefully we'll hear from you.
Shea Burton, winner of Pre-National Thousands. Shea, good to have you back up on the top step again, although, well, it doesn't look pleasant out there, but you're obviously a fan of the wet conditions.
Well, not particularly, no. It was good out there, I enjoyed it. Just a shame I couldn't do the race this morning, and I've missed so much of the season. It was a little bit hard, but I still enjoyed it. I'd go out and do it again now.
Anyone to thank?
Richard at OGC, Pally Brothers, Daz for all the help he always gives me, even though he's a pain in the bum sometimes.
Join us again after the break. Race 2 coming up for the A&R Racing Pre-National Sport 600s. Welcome back to Thundersport GP at Rockingham. Pre-National Sports 600s on the grid, ready to go. Sponsored by A&R Racing in association with Continental, that have been busy getting wets on. Now this is a new one on me. The entire front row missing. Jack Little didn't turn up for race 1. Harry Truelove, the championship leader, is AWOL. And the race 1 winner, Johnny Towers. So a real opportunity here for a few riders to get themselves on the top step. The likes of Nick Manger there, who didn't finish race 1. Sam Osborne. I suppose you could say Nick Manger effectively inherits pole position here. And Sam McFarlane as well, number 115 away from the line we go. Good start there for Sam Osborne. Number 73, and George Pycroft, number 67. Looks like he'll go into second ahead of Nick Manger, James May, and then Tustin. So decent efforts there. A bit of a wobble mid-pack from a number of riders, 2 or 3 there. Really tempting fate. You've got to be so careful. This circuit really is absolutely drenched, but up towards the hairpin. Well, Harry Truelove not being on the grid might not be the end of the world. I mean, he does have a huge championship lead, but even so, I don't know what that is about, because he didn't go down in his last race. So has he just missed it? Has he just chosen not to go out at all? Who knows? Oh, and there's a rider who's gone down straight away, and that is the same place as he went down earlier. Lee Howarth. Well, he is not a fan of the Entwood and has gone down in exactly the same place again. There we see another rider gone down, and that's George Pycroft. He's limping away, his Triumph smoking. Well, just unbelievable scenes, this class. Of course, we should just point out that Pre-National 600 class, it's not for rookies, but if you're a rookie, you can enter. You know, riders in this class don't have masses of experience. But this is unbelievable what's been going on here at Rockingham so far. James May, at the moment, it is then that leads. Now, James, I'm trying to rack my brains to know whether or not James has had a podium this year. But if he has, he definitely hasn't had a race win. Look at the weather here. It's absolutely atrocious. I can't see who's leading. That's Sam Osborne that's leading from James May, and that is Nick Manger. I should get a medal for this. There's Michael Tustin. That's Greg Scanlon, and then I think Darren Ibbotson. We've also got there Sam McFarlane as well, as they now head down back to start-finish straight into turn 1. I got the top 4 right. That's good to know. There's Andy Scanlon, and it is Darren Ibbotson, and then Brendan Mallender, number 6 as well. Brendan Mallender and Darren Ibbotson there are 2 riders that will definitely be looking to get themselves as many points as possible here to try and close the gap down on Harry Truelove, who's obviously absent, and they will have known about that as they lined up on the grid. But entering this race and finishing it, it seems 2 completely separate things, governing by the amount of non-finishes we've had so far today. So Pycroft out of the race, Manger out, Daniel Jones, by the way, has also gone out, as well as Lee Howarth, as you saw. This is James May then, number 7. James from Oxford on the JM Racing Yamaha, who travels along with 3 or 4 friends, and his, I believe it's his fiancée, I'll have to double check that. But they're always got big smiles on their faces, the team, which is always lovely to see. But this would put the biggest smile of all. We've definitely never spoken to James on the top step before. Likewise for Sam Osborne. Sam has been threatening to get himself on the top step a few times, a bit of a wobble there for him, but we're going to speak to someone new. Here is number 43, Chris Wilkinson from Scunthorpe. Now, when we first introduced the Pre-National Sports 600 Championship to Thundersport GP, Chris Wilkinson was one of those riders that was consistently at the sharp end. The talent has really come through and shone through in this championship, though, of late. We have so many people queuing up to race in this Pre-National Sports 600 Championship. It is unbelievable. James May it is, though, that has the advantage so far ahead of Sam Osborne. Osborne, who finished 2nd to Johnny Towers earlier. This would be a really solid day for Sam in the championship. Remember, when we see the championship points at the end, James May was in 5th, Sam Osborne was in 10th. Just remember that, because we'll get the point standings flash up on your screen at the end of this race, and there's a number of riders that are absolutely nowhere. There's Greg Scanlon, number 131. Greg has been with Thundersport, the Caversham rider on the Scanlon Carpentry Yamaha, since day 1. He's been racing with us since the very, very start of Thundersport GP. He's got Michael Tustin behind him on the purple and white MTR Triumph. But it's May at the moment with a clear visor, the concentration on the eyes there. even if you're winning this race and you fancy the wet, in this stuff, when it's as bad as this, you're just waiting for the checkered flag to come out. Certainly if it's your first ever race win that you're waiting for. There's Tustin, number 70 is Nick Manger on the Manger Brothers Racing Yamaha. And there's Brendan Malander, number 6 from Rotherham on the Honda as well. And Brendan, championship-wise, will just be looking to finish this and try and get himself up ahead of Darren Ibbotson overall. James May then, you wouldn't think looking at him at the moment that he's never had a race win. He looks very, very comfortable out front. That said, we have given more than a few commentary curses this year, so I'll keep stum for now as they head into Dean Hairpin. You can see just from that angle that it's slightly downhill as they go in, and then it dips down. Very easy to high side, and James can afford a quick look to the left to see who he's got to trouble him. Not many people at the moment. Just a quick couple of other mentions then while we have the chance. We see here Michael Tustin and Brendan Malander fighting it out. Ash Stone, regards to Ash Stone. Tustin there going up the inside of Brendan Malander. Ash, who's a regular in this championship, on Friday fell and broke his wrist, so that could be it for the season. We send our best regards to you, Ash. Hope that you mend quickly. There's also a father and son racing here in this class here today for the first time this season. Brian and Andy Bates racing here, father and son. Brian, who's 58, is a garage owner from Lancashire. He's racing number 110. His son Andy, you'll have seen a few times this year, he's 33, number 101, is a corporal tank commander in the King's Royal Hussars. So I expect he'd probably rather be in a tank at the moment than actually out in this mess. It looks absolutely horrendous. There's Greg Scanlon, number 131. I mentioned him a moment ago, the rider from Caversham. The last lap flag is out. James May on his way to his first victory in the class. So despite the awful weather conditions, this could be a day to remember here for James, who I'm sure by now is absolutely sick of me saying in commentary that it's not the James May from Top Gear, which I've mentioned every round. Lee Williams, actually, Formula 600 rider, said to me at Alton Park, I wonder if, I've got a challenge for you, I wonder if you can get through an entire commentary session this year without mentioning that it's not the James May from Top Gear. Well, there you go, Lee, we've done it again. James is on his way now to his first ever victory in the Pre-National 600s. He's got about half a lap to go. There is Greg Scanlon and Tustin just up ahead. In fact, there is Andy Bates, just mentioned him a moment ago, number 101, just going through Yentwood and now up towards Chapman Curve. He's about to just get lapped by Greg Scanlon. Greg, at the moment, is on for a podium, which would be, I think, his best finish of the season so far. In fact, his best finish of a few seasons. Here's James May then. I bet he can't believe what's going on here. He exits Tarzan and heads down the school straight into Brook Chicane, and then around onto the start-finish straight. This will be the most nervy chicane that he'll have ever entered. He's doing very well to avoid the white lines there and the curbs. Now onto the start-finish straight, and the checkered flag will wait. He can't believe it. He looks over his shoulder. James May has done it. 25 points and the race win for James May. Well done, sir. I bet you're over the moon with that. We'll find out in a moment. Second place for Sam Osborne. Another solid finish for him. What a good day for Sam. Greg Scanlon third, Tustin fourth, Brendan Malander in fifth, and Nick Manger then finishes sixth overall. Top three on the podium look like this. There's James, centre of your picture, Sam Osborne on the left and Greg Scanlon on the right. Now let's have a look at the championship. Harry Truelove's still in charge ahead of Ibbotson. Brendan Malander closes into Darren, but look at that then. James May closes into Tustin, and Sam Osborne is now up to sixth. Winner of race 2 in pretty treacherous conditions, James May. James, great to have you on the podium and more so on the top step. How was it out there?
What? I can't believe I've won, to be honest. It's brilliant. I just got my head down and kept going.
I know you've got a lot of family, friends and sponsors and people that come along, so who would you like to thank?
All the boys, James and Adam, for doing all their mechanical work, my wife, Dave, Myra, Alan Beckley from Forge Garage, Russia's Racing, and Dean Mulcahy for giving me a few pointers here and there. Thank you.
Well, you're about to see Dean out again in the next race. After the break, GBRacing 600 Sportsman Elite. welcome back to Rockingham for the final part of Thundersport Elite. It's now the GBRacing 600 Sportsman Elite on circuit for race 2. The man in the centre of your picture, Davey Todd, won earlier on. This was the championship leader coming into this race and this weekend, but what will it be at the end? Still raining, and Dave Todd there looking to pick up race victory number 2 of the season. Adam Clark getting ready to swim his way around this Rockingham circuit. In the background there, you've got Milo Ward, there's Harry Truelove, number 15, Tom Neve, number 68, then Dean Mulcahy further back. High rate of attrition means that we have a slightly diminished grid here at Rockingham, but there's still the main men involved, and down there, away we go from the line. An excellent start from Davey Todd. Matt Truelove just seemed to bog it slightly, and his brother's closing in on him. Up the inside there goes Tom Neve, but Matt Truelove closes the door. Good start also for Lee Williams. There is Joe Sheldon Shaw, number 10. As we mentioned earlier, nice to have Joe back out there, but we're on board with Davey Todd, who has the lead. The two Truelove brothers there, second and third, going into the hairpin. Matt Truelove it is that has the advantage. Number 59 from Harry, number 15. Then it's Tom Neve in fourth, and Lee Williams there in fifth. Tom Neve now moving up into third. No, second from fourth. Brilliant move there from Neve. Can he hold it together as they go up towards Chapman Curve? Yes, he can. So brilliant stuff there from Tom Neve. An ambitious move, but certainly worth the risk as he now moves into second place, and Tom could do with a couple of good finishes here. He really could. The championship hasn't quite gone his way so far this year with a few tumbles, but they all need to do something about this man. Davey Todd could end this weekend as championship leader before we head over to Northwest Wales and Anglesey. Todd so far already pulling away in the early stages of this opening lap. Good start also for Milo Ward. Max Wadsworth's up there again. Alex Baker, Tim Neve going well. Dean Mulcahy so far so good. There is Todd then that leads from Tom Neve on the red and blue bike. Then the white and blue machine. 15 is Harry Truelove, then his brother Matt. Yellow bike, number 94, Lee Williams. That there, 87, is Adam Clark, the Thundersport 500 champion from a few years ago. Then we have Dean Mulcahy, just a bit behind on the Phoenix Race Team Yamaha. There is Lee Williams with that new Pipeworks exhaust, of course sponsored by Oakley as well at the moment, and a number of other sponsors. So Lee is going well. He's just trying to find a way past Matt Truelove. I wonder if Matt has got a similar problem to what we saw earlier with his visor steaming up. His brother Harry at the moment is pulling away from him and is closing in on him on the championship overall. These boys do have a busy time of it. They race every weekend if they can at various club races, and they'll enter the odd British Championship round as well. So far it seems to be paying off because they've been exceptional this year. Both of them were racing last year. Matt Truelove finished as third place man in the Pre-National Sport 600s. Harry Truelove was a mini-twin rider as a complete newcomer and had a few podiums here and there. We didn't expect to see them going as well as they are this year though. Harry Truelove, I think it's fair to say, the more quiet of the two brothers, the younger brother, but certainly has made a lot of movement in a positive direction this year. And Matt Truelove as well, at times this year has been nothing short of brilliant, but has had a few moments himself. Here's Davey Todd though, a complete rookie to motorcycle racing on this surface. Then Tom Neve. Tom, you'll remember from last year, a Super Twins rider. It was kind of a, I suppose, I don't think he'll mind me saying, it's a win or bin for him, and oh no, Harry Truelove, he legs it there away from the scene. Harry Truelove high-sided his Yamaha, and he moves straight out of action. The reason he's done that is for his own safety more than anything else. It's not a particularly safe place to be standing. There's a change for second place. Lee Williams there going past Matt Truelove. So Harry is down and out, having just praised him. Unfortunately, that's the end of his weekend, and so he'll just watch from the sidelines. The good news is when you see a rider getting up and running away, 9 times out of 10 it means that the rider is okay. So the marshals will just try and now recover that bike, and by the time we get back round there, hopefully they'll have cleared the scene. They're excellent at their jobs, these boys and girls in orange that volunteer each weekend to help out and marshal. Without them, racing simply wouldn't go ahead. Here's Davey Todd though. Supreme performance here from Davey. He is lapping 2 seconds a lap quicker than anyone else out on the circuit there. A bit further back is Joe Sheldon Shaw battling with Jarvis Adams. 23 though, Davey Todd. You can see what I mean, what I mentioned earlier on, the smooth riding style here of Davey. He has learned a great deal throughout this season. At times at the start of the season looked a little ragged in places. There was the lack of adhesion flag I just spotted on the left, so they may well have cleared Harry Truelove's bike up, but there might still be a few bits and bobs laying out on circuit they're going to have to be careful of. Here's his older brother Matt. You can see he's been through some scrapes this year already from his leathers, and so Matt just trying to get himself as high a finish as possible here to keep himself in the hunt in the championship overall. Got a few decisions to make at the end of the year, you know, Matt Truelove and Harry, because there's a few British Championship rounds that might clash with Thundersport, and they're going to have to make that decision, and I think it will really depend on where Matt sits in the championship at the time. If he's still in with a shadow winning this, I think you'll see him finish the season trying to win that championship, but he's got a few men to fight with, Lee Williams and this man, of course, Davey Todd. There you just see Matt Truelove losing out on another position. That's Max Wadsworth, who's been making good progress again. We've seen him on the podium already today. And now Max Wadsworth moves further forward. Milo Ward is making decent ground as well. Should just mention the number 41 from Wellingborough on the Motrack Racing Kawasaki. There's Tom Neve, 68. Tom on the Neve Twins Racing Kawasaki. Of course, his twin brother Tim is also out in this race and is in the top 10. He's currently enjoying a battle with Alex Baker, former Aprilia 450 rider on the BBR Racing Yamaha, but this is your race leader, the rookie Davey Todd. There is Max Wadsworth, number 72 from Halifax on the SCL Racing Kawasaki. What a solid weekend this has been for Max. Really has gone very well indeed. Anglesey up next then for this group of riders, and then after that over to Donington Park after Anglesey, and then the finale at Cadwell Park. So hard to believe, isn't it, that we're past the halfway point of the season already. Where has that time gone? Max Wadsworth then at the moment looking pretty good. This is your race leader though, Davey Todd. His lead at the moment is over 15 seconds. And I wonder if he's got a pit board, if he's been given the information. I mean, even though he's lapping 2 seconds, 3 seconds a lap, sometimes quicker than the rest of the field, he certainly looks comfortable at it, but it wouldn't be the first time, would it, if something was to go wrong here? I hope we're not cursing him, but there he goes around Chapman Curve. Now then, this is Lee Williams, Adam Clark and Milo Ward. These guys at the moment are all fighting it out for second place, trying to get them, third place, because Tom Neve is ahead of this group now. So Tom is in a bit of a lonely race himself. Then it's the battle for third between these three. Now Lee Williams, definitely the man that would want to finish at the front of the bunch because of the championship. Here's Tom Neve, who at the moment, believe it or not, isn't in the top 10 of the Sportsman Elite 600 Championship overall. He is in the top 10 of the Superstock 600s. In fact, he's just behind his brother Tim overall in the championship. Tim has been the more consistent of the two so far this year, but Tom here is on for a second place finish in not just the super stock class but in the Sportsman Elite 600s overall. You just have to have a completely different riding style in these conditions. If you're naturally an aggressive rider, it won't work. You have to be smooth, you have to keep your concentration. The bike needs to be a little softer, you need to be careful on the throttle. You need to avoid the white lines and the curbs, and you need to gently apply the brakes and try not to trail them. Everything has to be done in a certain order, otherwise you can throw the bike away, and it happens. It's so easy to fall in the wet on these weapons. But Davey Todd so far has proven that he is not shy of the wet. There's Lee Williams then. This is the battle for third that you're looking at. Oh, that's getting a bit tight around Dean Hairpin there as they put a lap on. Is that Steve Kaplan? I think they're putting a lap on. But Lee Williams at the moment still leading the battle for third. Milo Ward closes in on him. And then Adam Clark, who's definitely had his best weekend so far. This is your race leader though. On the final lap, Davey Todd just got to calmly make his way around Piff Paff and now onto the steel straight. Whoever called that a steel straight needs to take themselves off to an optician's, I think, because the there isn't even a straight there. I really don't get it. From Piff Paff, they just stay cranked over on their left into Gracelands and then into Tarzan Hairpin here, then onto School Straight before heading into the Brook Chicane. This is left, right, left, which then leads you onto the main Rockingham Oval, and then the checkered flag will await Davey Todd. Now, bearing in mind Davey hadn't won a race this season, he's been up at the championship sharp end all year long thanks to consistency. What a time to plant in a double win on Sunday here at Rockingham in some filthy conditions. He'll remember this round for some time to come. The checkered flag goes out and Davey Todd has absolutely smoked them. Across the line he goes, he's cruised along the line. We're going to have to wait quite some time before we tell you who finishes in second, but it should be Tom Neve, and indeed is. Lee Williams finishes in third and wins the Formula 600 battle. That's good for him in the championship. Milo Ward fourth, Adam Clark fifth. Max Wadsworth ends up in sixth place overall. So top step, Davey Todd in the super stocks ahead of Tom Neve and Milo Ward. Davey with the win outright, of course. Lee Williams winning the Formula 600s ahead of Max Wadsworth. And Jarvis Adams in the championship then. Wow, it's close. 4-point lead then for Davey Todd ahead of Matt Truelove. Lee Williams is not far away at all there in third. Harry Truelove, a costly fall there. He's still in fourth. And then in the formulas, Lee Williams in charge of that ahead of Jamie Boyce, Reece Rothwell third. Then Jarvis Adams, who lifts himself up into fourth. And in the Super Stock 600s, it's Davey Todd with a 23-point lead over Matt Truelove. Harry Truelove is in third, just 21 behind his brother. And it's Ward, Jordan Rushby in fifth, and Dean Mulcahy a point further back. Now then, that's it from us here at Rockingham. Hopefully the sun is shining down on us in Anglesey in North West Wales. We'll be there next month. We'll see you then.